What is e-marketing? Well, we loosely define it as the process of marketing a brand in a digital environment. And the reason why I say a digital environment and not an internet environment is because I think it fundamentally involves mobile. I do think it's very early days for mobile, and I believe that technology is not the hindrance in adoption, it's the user. I mean, how many of you run Skype on your phone and make calls at a tenth of the price? Anyone? Well, there we go. And did you know you can all pretty much do it and save huge amounts of money, yet no one does? So that's my issue with mobile. So online marketing is roughly broken up. Well, this is the way we do it. Hey, the pointer doesn't work on the screen. That's funny. There goes that plan. So we roughly break it up into these tactics. SEO, which is search engine optimization. I'm going to go through these in a bit more detail. Paid search. It should say online advertising, affiliate marketing, viral marketing, web PR, which includes online reputation management. And then email marketing we like to think of as the tactic that kind of pulls things together. I don't believe in using email as an acquisition tool, but rather as a relationship tool and a custom maximization tool. You've also got the old website in the middle, which is kind of the focal point of online marketing. And then obviously, the goal of the website, well, in my belief, is to spit out the dollars and the pounds and the rands. And to achieve that, one looks at web analytics and conversion optimization. E-marketing, you know, it's so easy to look at this and say it's a list of tactics, but it's not really a list of tactics. I think the thing which defines success in e-marketing is how they work together. There's so many ways in which one tactic can benefit the other, and I think this kind of holistic approach to online marketing is becoming more and more important every day we go forward. First thing, marketing-focused web development. Now, you know, many marketing people approach building websites from a case of, right, we've got some information to display, let's put it up on the internet. I think fundamentally that's wrong. We like to talk about websites as marketing machines, and I believe in 99% of the cases, maybe even 999 out of 1,000, that's exactly what they are. It's very rare that a website has no goal, it just exists. Well, maybe some South African blogs, but for the most part, they're built to achieve something. And I think starting with that as your initial point when building a website will make you far more successful. They are not brochures. There's three things that websites should do. They need to attract, they need to convert, and they need to retain customers. And they need to do it as efficiently and effectively as possible. The most important thing when building a website is the usability. If people can't use your website, what is the point? So design the site for the users above everything else. They are goal-driven when they visit your website. They want to achieve something, and they do not care about you. I promise you that. So they want to go to your site, and they want to either get a piece of information, make a purchase, register for something, download something. It's your job to make that process as easy as possible. If they have to think, you will lose them. The second most important thing in my eyes is the search engine visibility. If you have a website that no one can find, well, you're not going to get much success out of it. And you know, there's that old cliche that building a website is like putting up a billboard in the Sahara. Not many people are going to see it unless you take them there. And search engines are a huge driver of traffic to websites. In fact, for most websites, they drive the majority of traffic. And then the third priority is the design, the look and feel of the site. Now, it may come number 3 out of 3, but that doesn't mean you can build ugly websites. Your websites need to look good, but I don't believe in prioritizing looks over search engine visibility and over usability. I talk about identifying goals when building a site. The first thing you should be doing is saying, what does my site need to achieve above everything else? And build the entire site to facilitate that. So if you want to sell a widget, say, right, this is my goal. I'm going to build the entire site to lead people towards that goal. And we refer to things as response paths. Is that subconscious process of taking a person from one page to the next page to the next page to the goal. And it needs to be a subconscious process. They shouldn't be thinking through that. Calls to action. Goodness gracious, how many people forget this? It's important to tell people the exact action you want them to take on your website. Don't make them think. If you want them to download something, tell them, download this now. If you want them to buy it now. If you say, hey man, you can do whatever you like, they're just going to go straight back to Google. And I would encourage those people that know a bit about grammar, use active verbs in your calls to action. Get people excited, drive them forward. If you use the wishy-washy, that's exactly the response you'll get. The look and feel of the site, as I said, very important, but certainly the least important consideration in web development. But it doesn't mean ugly sites are okay, and let's be honest, we've all visited them. Someone sent me the other day the ugliest site of the day, and It was like this flashing rainbow of hell. And I mean, I think you'd have an epileptic fit if you spent too long on it. So that doesn't mean it's okay. But I think sites, you need to demonstrate your credibility. You need to demonstrate you're professional. And if you can achieve those two goals, then your users will be satisfied. Firstly, search engine optimization. Oh, I'm missing a slide. For those that don't know, that is getting your site to the top of the left-hand side of Google. And I'm just going to use Google as a default placeholder for search engines because, let's be honest, they rule the roost. Now, you've got search engine optimization is organic. You can't pay to be at the top. You can only work hard to be at the top. Paid search, which I'm going to get to later, down the side and on the top, you can pay to get to the top. Now, what we found is that from a cost per acquisition basis, organic search tends to lag paid search for the first 6-9 months to a year because, particularly with a new website, you can turn on a paid search campaign tomorrow, send traffic tomorrow. But your search engine optimization efforts, you have to put in a lot of time and you only start to reap the rewards sometimes 6-9 months down the line because your site needs to build up credibility in the eyes of the search engines. But ask yourself the question, where do you click most, on the left or on the right? And I'm sure every one of you is thinking the left. And roughly speaking, I mean, it varies dramatically depending on the type of phrase, but it's about 100-to-1 difference. I mean, super commercial phrases like buy iPod Nano now is probably 2-to-1. Because the paid search result is exactly what they want. People are starting to realize that it's very commerce driven and they can go straight there. But for the most part, you get a lot more traffic on the left-hand side. Now, the reason why I say long-term that organic search has the lowest cost per acquisition is because as it starts to kick in and become successful, you're driving a lot of traffic, and the amount of work you need to keep doing becomes less and less and less to deliver that traffic. On the other hand, paid search gets more and more expensive every year. It goes up on average about 35% a year. So what you find is that I was going to draw something, but I can't. That there's a crossover point in cost per acquisition. And SEO, search engine optimization, tends to go down over time. Cost per acquisition and paid search tends to go up, which is why you have to do both. If you leave your organic search too long, you'll find that the paid search is becoming less and less effective. And if you haven't started investing in organic search early on, you're going to start to suffer from a cost per acquisition basis. Some things to think about when optimizing your site. Firstly, keyword research. You can only optimize a page, a specific page, for at most 3, maybe 5 key phrases. So you need to select those key phrases very carefully because there's probably 100 different ones you could use. In some cases, 10,000. And I have kind of 4 criteria for selecting a key phrase. The first of all is how many times is it being searched? There's no point in optimizing for purple wombat because it doesn't get searched for. So how many times is the phrase going to get searched? The second thing is how competitive is that phrase? And the third thing is what is the likelihood that the phrase is going to convert the customer that it brings in? And the fourth one is what is the value of that customer? Sitemap. Preferably a dynamic sitemap. In other words, it builds itself. Every time you add a page, that sitemap needs to be building itself. You do not want to be manually adding something to your sitemap every time you want to add a page to your site because you should be adding as much content as you can, as frequently as you can. Google loves freshness. Links. I mean, you can't say enough about links. They drive 90% of search engine rankings, I believe. I mean, look, it really varies. But when it comes to a competitive phrase, it is all about links. But it's not just about the volume of links. It's the quality of the links. Where's the link coming from? So a link from my blog would carry 0 weight compared to a link from CNN.com. And then usage data, which is certainly a controversial topic and something that I believe in, but I can't prove it at all. But, it stands to reason that search engines have to deliver relevant, valuable results to their users, or the users will go elsewhere. And therefore, if you buy into that belief, search engines will do whatever it takes to find out the real value of a site. Now, Google has got immense ability to look at the actual value and traffic on a website. So they've got their Google toolbar, which many of you, I'm sure, are using in Firefox. They've got Google Analytics, they've got AdSense, they've got AdWords, whole bunch of things, and they're monitoring websites. Boom, 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 boom. So I believe what you need to be doing is demonstrating your worth to Google by showing them your usage data. So install Google Analytics and what have you. Now, the one thing I do know for certain in terms of usage data, and it's the most simple example, if you type a search phrase into Google and you click on the link, and then 5 seconds later you hit the back button, they know that so easily. Now, if 1,000 users repeat that pattern, that site will drop. Because it's saying to Google, this site is not relevant. Everyone who clicks on it comes straight back to us, so drop it. That's one example of usage data. But certainly, as they start to learn more about the internet, they will start incorporating this kind of thinking into their algorithms. So I think the key thing is to have a genuinely successful site.